Welcome to Real Estate Success Partner. We're your hosts, Devin Dubuc,
Devin Nguyen.
and we're here to talk about how to have great success in every market. Hey, and today, guys, that market is Houston. And Dave, brother, who'd you bring along with you today?
I got a great realtor for NextGen Realty, Trinh Nguyen. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, glad to have you here. I know it's always hard to make time when you've got the busy life that you have, but we're really excited to have you here on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I would say happy Friday, but I guess Friday is not the best day for realtors and lenders in real estate industry, right? It's like when we actually start working.
Yeah, that's the start of the week, right? The beginning
Yeah,
of the
start
week
of the
is
week.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, and that's it. That's what we're talking about. You know, we know you do a lot of activity, and that's why we appreciate you taking the time today. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you from Houston originally?
My family and I, we moved here when I was 14, and that was in '07. And we've been here since. So you could say I've been here almost 20 years, kind of grew up here, went high school here, and had a few times when I wanted to leave Houston after college, like all the kids.
That's
But
right.
then, just happened to stay here. And now, honestly, the best city in the world for me.
That's awesome. I love it. Well,
Hmm.
always growing. There's always business or new homes popping up out there. Texas is a great market, and we really good playing field for the real estate game. But so you graduated high school, went to college, and you went to school to be a realtor.
No, so I actually have a background in fine arts, like studio arts
Mm.
and interior design. So I went to UH for fine arts, got out of school, did a lot of nonprofit works, and then didn't like that, went back to school for interior design for a second degree, finished that, got out of school, and then the pandemic happened.
Mm.
And then I did work in interior design for a little bit. Then I actually got sick, like really bad. Like
I'm
I
sorry to
was
hear that.
diagnosed with an autoimmune disease in 2021, and so I had to quit my job and then just stay home recovering for 6 months. And during that time, I'm like, what am I going to do now? I
Yeah,
don't want to go back to the workforce and start, the beginning when I'm done with recovering. So I'm
yeah,
like, I have all this time, so I'm going to take online real estate classes.
I love
And
that.
I did that in a month. so so
So
yeah,
making
here I
best
am.
use of a really bad situation, and
Yes.
here you are today, and you're doing amazing things. So we're so glad
Yeah.
that you recovered because we need great people like you here in this industry. And we're glad we stole you from interior design, but maybe we talked about this before you hopped on. You can come help us finish in our podcast room because we're doing some design in here, and we're about to change it all up. So we might have to bring you out here to Dallas,
Yeah, yes. As long as you pay, I'll be
right?
there.
Yeah. Full disclosure, it's going to cost you.
It's gonna cost you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So you got started during the pandemic, an interesting time in real estate because, like most people would have thought, man, everybody's stuck at home. We're not going to be out buying new homes, but it was exactly the opposite. That was like the only thing you could buy, and so real estate world kind of went wild. How was that? Getting introduced to the market in one of the busiest times in real estate history.
That was really interesting that you brought that up because it was the busiest time in the industry, but maybe not to new agents, right? Because I
Mm,
was new at the time, and for new agents, the only clients you could get was buyers, not so much sellers.
yeah,
So sellers had a great time. Anything could be on the market at any day and sold the next day.
that's
But
right.
with buyers, my very first client, they met me on Facebook and they reached out and they were relocating. And honestly, I make the biggest mistake because I showed them 100 plus homes, like
Woo!
virtually.
Wow.
It was so many homes. And at the
Marathon.
time, I was like, yeah, that's fine. My first deal, how exciting. But it was so many homes. I was driving all around town. We
Yeah,
put in like 6, 7 offers. All of them got
of
rejected. I
course.
mean, they finally got in, but it was a hard time for me.
Yeah.
I felt like, is this how it is? Like, this is how we have to write offers? Like
Yeah.
anything, 60K, 70K above the asking price. And
Sounds about right.
Yeah,
You
and
were you were literally spinning your wheels because you're literally
yeah,
driving all over town, throwing gas
yes.
money out the window to look at 100 different properties. And you're right. I mean, that period of time, you'd put in an offer, and unless it was conventional or complete cash offer, right, coming over the top with 50, 60, $100,000, you weren't winning those bids. It was a really insane time for real estate.
Yeah, so that's how I got started. And it got better after that
Yeah.
when the market slowed down for me. So that's when my business actually picked up.
Mm.
But my first deal was, oh my gosh, my client even had to, they felt so bad. They actually pay gas for me. They sell me $300. And they're like, we're
Wow.
so sorry. Because they were in California. So I just kind of like, virtually showed them homes. I was the one that was driving.
Gotcha.
Um, but like, that's the thing that I feel like people don't see behind the scenes,
No,
right? Like,
you don't.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that,
and for an opportunity that maybe never happens, right? Because at the end of the day, we
right.
hope that they all get to become homeowners and we work with them through completion, but that doesn't always happen. So here you are showing 100 homes with the hope that at the end of the rainbow, you're going to get a deal, and you did, right? But
Hmm.
man, was that what kind of money was really spent, right, for the time that you took and the energy that you took to go out there and do that, right? That's what people don't see. So I love that you
Right.
point that out.
Hey, Trent, I want to talk
Yeah.
about because you're what I consider the new age of realtors. You came into this market in during COVID. What you don't know, Devin, from my conversation with Trent is she's very heavy in social media. All her
Mm,
leads, I would say, what 80, 90% of them are from social media. And I didn't realize this, but
Hmm.
you said your first lead came from Facebook. So you came into the
Yes.
industry as a rookie and immediately started monetizing social
yeah.
media. Because
Yes.
there's people in this business that have been 20, 30 years that refuses to post any
Or don't
videos
know how to do
or
it.
don't know how to
Yeah.
do it and stuff like that. And we all know that it's the new age. You know what? It's how people communicate. It's how look. You're proving it. Brand new into this business, and your first lead was straight from Facebook. So
Yes. Yeah.
talk about that. Even though you're newer in real estate, what you're doing is very unique in our world.
Yeah. So 50% of my clients are from social media,
Hmm.
mainly from Instagram, and the other 50% is referrals from those clients.
Yeah.
So I would say 100% is social media.
Yeah.
To me at the time was because I didn't want to spend money on marketing, as a new agent. And I was like, what is the free way that I can do all the time? So I just went on tons of Facebook groups posting about myself, and then I was like, let's tackle Instagram because I can sit there and post 2, 3 times a day for free instead of go out there and door knock and it's hot in Houston, y'all. Like I
It
hate
is
that.
hot.
So that's how I kind of started it. And I was just like, I didn't really have any expectation. I was just like, it's all about the algorithm. So the more you post, the more you might get successful overnight. Like there are tons of people out there teaching you how to do like social media, but it might not work for everybody.
Right.
Um, but I was just like, it's free though. Like, do I want to spend and do
Right.
like postcards? Like, might as well just keep doing it. So I just kept doing it. And my very first year in real estate, I honestly made $20,000 at the end of the year. Like, that's all I made.
Yeah.
But that was the year that I started my social media.
Yeah.
And then the next year was when I started actually getting people contacting me from social media, like, hey, I'm looking for an agent, and all of that. And it kind of started picking up. So I made 10 times more than even more than that in my first year. Like my business just blew up.
Right.
And, I talked to David about this before too. My first $1 million client was also from Instagram.
Mm.
So it's kind of like, you know, when it works, you just have to keep
Yeah.
doing it and don't kind of get caught in that, oh, my video is not being viewed. I'm not getting a lot of followers because you never know when,
That's
when
right.
you get a chance or who you're going to meet. I don't have like tons of followers, but at the same time, I just need to meet that one client
Yeah.
or even two clients and work with them, and they really love me, and they refer me to their network. So it's
Right.
almost kind of like a spider web kind of situation.
Hey Trina, I want to talk about that. So we're coach, and we're on all platforms. We're on social media. We do Google ads. We do drip campaigns. We do everything, right? So traditionally, leads from social media convert at about a 1% rate. Your conversion, I think,
Hmm.
is a lot higher than that. Is there some secret to weeding through the minutia or whatever? Because I'll give you an example. There's people out there that will get 90 leads and only one of them will convert, but you have to go through all
Right.
90 leads to convert. I think your conversion rate's a lot higher than that. Is there a secret or something that you can tell to the people?
I don't reach out to the leads, they come to me. So in a way of like, I they either have to text me, and I think in the beginning I had like a form, a questionnaire they had to fill out with their
Yeah.
information. And if the people spend the time to fill that out, they're serious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If they just gonna slide into your DM and ask questions, they might not be serious.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take some kind of call to action where people spend a bit more time to answer some questions,
That's
and
right.
then it can show you, it shows that they're serious. So I would say you only need to convert 1 to 2, right? Out of like 1,000, 5,000, whatever it is. But then just kind of keep in mind that those people have their own network, and you just have to
Work in the sphere.
work in their sphere. Yeah. So it's like if if you think that social media will get you like 100 deals per year, like that's not going to happen. Social media will get you maybe 1, 2, 3 deals per year, but your job is to talk to those deals and see if they have other people. You want to work their sphere as well. So that's what is important.
So wise.
Hmm.
Let's walk back through that real quick because you just talked a little bit about how you captured, but I'm new to social media and I want to know what kind of thing do I post? So let's rewind this back to when you first started posting and I love that you said that it didn't happen in the first year, right? Because a lot of people don't realize it's the consistency over time that builds the network, right? And then eventually when you've got enough content and people feel like they know you and they can trust you, that's where they start to reach out. But what are you posting, right? Are you just posting selfies? Like, what does that look like, right, when you're first getting started and posting
Yeah.
3 times a day?
So in the beginning, I posted a lot of new constructions, model home tours because they're
Mm,
always open every single day. You just need to go there and take some photos, take some pictures, and just pick a community, and you can do all of the models within the same day. And I just kept posting all of that, and that was actually got me a lot of followers in the beginning.
yeah,
And then, as time goes by, like driving out to communities is also time
it
consuming.
is.
So I kind of started into posting more like videos of myself and putting myself a little bit more out there, maybe some tips and tricks of buyers and sellers, just really quick videos like that. And you almost have to think like you're an influencer, even though you don't have enough followers to be an influencer yet, but you do have to think that way because as I do more, I realize you also have to love doing it to
That's right.
maintain it. So the more you go out there and take photos of homes and things like that, that's great. But a lot of the times we don't have the time to do that. We go and show homes all the time and do contracts and calls. So it does take time to do those videos. So even just like a quick 20 seconds of telling them about your latest transaction or just something you want to share. Think of your audience like your friends, like you just like
Yep.
creating these contents for them. So that's what I'm doing now. And I feel like that's much more manageable and is a lot more, like I can produce a lot more with that kind of content.
I love that. I love that. And so let's talk about that a little bit too. So effectively, what you said was we start off with just doing home tours of new properties, and that's so brilliant because what do people want to see? They love to see a brand new home and like what might be available to them. And so we start with that, but then we get to pro tips. So where do these pro tips come from, right? Is it just the experiences that you're having, or are you just a wizard and you happen to know all the tips in the world? Like, where do you get this information?
Is the experience that I'm having, and just like anyone can, all realtors know this, like any transaction you learn 15, 20 new things. And that's 15, 20 new content, right? Like
That's right.
you don't have to talk about the entire transaction within one video. You can break it down to different tips and tricks. You also don't want to give everything out there and then so people can just like have free tips and tricks. But at the same time, you want to show your values to these people so you can just break down your transaction. I think that even though you do one deal, brand new agent, you can still make 100 contents with that one deal.
Yeah.
So that's just how I do it, and I also recycle my contents. I don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but
We all
so
do it. We all do it.
things that I posted maybe 3 years ago, now I'm posting it again, right? People
Yeah.
are not going to go and check. I think the game here is just making sure that you stay relevant and you keep posting and
That's
don't,
right.
don't slack off. Like you every week, if you can do every day, at least do every week. 'Cause
Well, and you just said some things that our mentors have taught us, and I think you touched on all those, and probably did it without even having somebody influence you to do it. But what our mentors tell us is teach, tell, touch, sell. Right. So what do we want to do? We want to teach them something. Well, that's what you're doing with, the tips. Hey, I just helped this family and this is what we were able to do. And hey, if you're trying to buy something, this might be something you can try too. Right. You want to touch their hearts. Right. So show them a really touching story, and it doesn't always have to be real estate related. It can be anything. Right. Just something that's really touching to them. Right. Tell them something. Right. Well, hey, check out this new home in this new subdivision. Right. Or, hey, check out what's going on in Houston this weekend. You might want to get out here and check this out. You might see me there, right? And then sell. Hey, I got this property and I'm trying to sell it right now and I'd love to sell it to you. So at the end of the day, you did all of those things as a rookie, just coming into the industry, and you've built a great big network as a result of that. Kudos to you. Like, that's awesome, And I think the most admirable thing, if you're really listening, guys, she said the first year, $20,000. That's all she made, showing 100 homes. Somebody virtually driving all over town, right? Not on that one deal, we know that, but $20,000, and what kind of expenses went into that, all while building a channel with no real volume to support that it's actually working, just a trust and a belief that I'm going to do what it takes and I'm going to find success. And now here you are today. And as you said, not only did you do more, you 10 times your income. And I don't even want to talk about what you're doing today. But at the end of the story here, you're taking action and you're rejecting the fear that most people have. And that's an admirable quality, and you did it because you didn't have a choice. You had to get out of the industry you're in and figure out, well, what am I going to do next? So, man, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by your story. This is really good.
Well, even more
yeah,
so, the last 2 years has been probably two of the worst years in real estate in the last 20 years. Other than
right.
2008 and 2009, we're talking about now.
Yeah.
You did incredible the last couple of years. So I mean,
Yes, yeah.
one thing about what you do, Trent, is if you did well in this market, just think what's coming down the road in the next couple of years whenever it's supposed to be a boom. You're going to survive any market. You're we know you're great. You're going to be a major influencer in this business.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I think, having a mindset, like a positive mindset is important in this business. And I feel like people always say that, right? I just keep thinking like there's sellers and buyers for any market. You just have to find them. Like for me, people said the last 2 years were hard for them, but then I'm like, well, I worked a lot with first time home buyers, so their choice is really paying rent or paying mortgage. So they have to pay for something. But paying rent doesn't, that's 100% interest rate. So if you really think about, people's situation and guide them, because we can't control the market, but we can at least like guide them through the market to get them the best deal and whatever that makes sense in their life.
That's right.
And you just have to think of it that way and positively, because I feel like if you're thinking like, oh, this market sucks, this, everything is negative, like your clients can feel that from you. Like people can feel that from you. So
No,
if you
your
just
energy is important.
stay positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to have that energy, because people want to do business with people that they like, and people don't typically like Debbie Downer, right? Oh,
Yeah.
you're going to buy a house now? Why would you do it now, right? No, it's
Yeah.
exciting. People need homes. We've got to lead them to homes, and we got to help them with the best scenario. And what David I know, is that if they buy it right now, they're actually probably getting a better deal because people are willing to negotiate today. And
Right.
more
Yeah.
importantly, the rates are coming down. They can always refinance the darn thing, where the person that waits for the market, the homes are going to go up, right? So it's really not a terrible time to buy a home. It's actually a great time to buy a home. It's not a great time to sell a home, right? So, but
Yeah. I think it's just kind of like you just have to pick your poison, right? Like, do you want low interest rate but compete all the time and see tons of homes and feel discouraged, or you want to buy now and be able to find something and then refinance later. I mean, the same thing with the, if the market switches, you also just have to think about the pros and cons and make a list of those and see whatever that makes sense.
Yeah, agreed. Well, I got to ask
Hmm.
you, and we love to really kind of go deep here. Tell me, why do you do this, right? We know why you got in the market, but why just stay in the market? Because at the end of the day, sure you're having success, and I'm sure that's been great. But you have a background in another industry. Like, what when you got into real estate made you realize that like this is what you want to do? Like, why are you doing this thing?
So I recently realized that I hate working 9 to 5 because I was just kind of like thinking about everything, like, why am I still doing this? But
Yeah,
at the same time, it's like one thing about real estate that I really like is that you do work a lot more than a 9 to 5 hours. You think about your job all the time. When you sleep, you
that's
literally
right.
wake up. I told my friends that the only calls I actually get are work calls because my
Yeah,
friends don't call me. They text me. So like when I get a call, it's work.
yeah,
Um, but at the same time, there's a freedom in that, right? Like you know, and I kind of like that. Like I rather work more, but I feel like I'm at the point now that I can also pick my own client.
yeah.
You don't have to work with people you don't want to work with, or but also you're changing people's lives. Like if you work with a client, they really appreciate you, they will show it, and that's really rewarding. Um, and just the challenge in real estate, I feel like when I was working 9 to 5, every day became the same at some
Yeah.
point.
Yep.
But with real estate, it's not, right? Like this morning, I felt very happy, but then something happened in the afternoon. Now I'm like feeling so sad about it. So things always come up. And then when people ask, like, what kind of challenge? And you can't really explain that to them because they have to be in it to see it.
That's right.
Um, and I really enjoy that. Like,
You thrive in the
different things
chaos.
happen all the time.
Yeah. Thriving in the
Yeah.
chaos. It's funny you say that because I think I'm a little bit the same way, and I know Dave is too. I get bored if something stays the same. This industry never stays the same. I'm the weird kind of guy that likes to build Legos when I'm not working because I want a challenge, right? Like that's what I want to do. I want to take something that's very difficult and turn it into something awesome. And I think you get to do that with real estate. You get to take these really complex equations and make them work for people. And at the end, you're right. It's so rewarding to be able to help somebody into a home. A lot of the times, a home that they never thought that they could afford, right? And you get to find a way to do that, and you get to work with the right partners to make that happen too. Because I think a lot of people don't realize this, but it's not just about the right agent and the right loan officer. It's all of it. It's the agent, the loan officer, the title company, right? All the inspection companies that we work with, and knowing who you could reach out to that's going to be able to give you the professional insight. We become a team, right? That's what
Right.
real estate really is. So I think there's something special about that too. When you're assembling your team and figuring out not only are these the people that I want to work with in my business, this is my team, my people that I'm going to do life with.
Right. And I do think that it's not for everybody. You kind of have to be a hustler at heart,
Mm,
like constantly your mind is constantly working at different things, and you always want to get up and do something. Like I think that's also part of me since I was very young. Like I had 3 4 jobs for I don't know why I did. But it's just constantly like, like you have to keep it going, and you
yeah.
kind of have that mindset as well because it's really not for everybody.
Well, I
Hmm.
tell everybody, Trent, in real estate, you better love it because just like you, yes, we don't clock at 9 to 5, but you're on 7 days a week,
All the
24
time.
hours a day.
Yeah.
Now, I know for a fact if you're successful in this business, you better take a call at 8 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. So it's just that's the part that people don't know. People think real estate is glamorous. You make all this money,
Yeah.
you get off, but it really is a 24/7 job.
Yeah.
It really is. Yeah, you work on vacations. People don't
Yeah.
say that, but you do.
We-
You don't have vacations.
Yeah, we were just talking to an agent that said, I wrote 3 contracts while sitting in line on Disney rides last year, right? It's like, he's like, thank
Yeah,
goodness the lines were long. I had time to do my job while I was waiting to get on, right?
yeah. I did have that happen. I think last year when I submitted an offer right before I was gonna fly out to somewhere, and I literally texted the agent like, "Hey, I am gonna be on a flight. I'm gonna be on a plane in the next 3 hours. So if I don't respond, just letting you know, I will respond in the next 3 hours.
That's right.
Literally, the moment that you land, you just want to turn on your phone and see like who's calling and who's texting.
I'll tell you what, I don't even turn it off there. I subscribe to the Wi-Fi and I just keep working while I'm on the flight, right? And that's one of the benefits to, modern airfare. We didn't get that a
That's
few years
true.
back, but you can do it now. So literally, I don't even take off work when I'm in the air, right? You keep it going at all times. And I know you did the same thing,
Oh
Dave.
yeah.
So, yeah. Yep. Well,
Hmm.
so speaking of, we always like to ask, when do you get this free time, and what do you do in your free time, right? Is it just you? Do you have a family? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, so my boyfriend and I we travel a lot. So we like traveling. Even though like you travel when you work and travel, but we do take the time. Like sometimes if it's not urgent, I don't answer calls or texts after 9 p.m. or if I can. Um, and then like you, I don't build Legos, but I build these little mini houses
Oh, I love
because
it.
I like
Love it.
challenges, so I like to
Yes.
do that as well. But you just kind of have to set the time away
Yeah.
and even just like an hour or two. But what I do notice is when you do have free time in real estate, you value it more than when you have a 9 to 5, right? For me, it's like the 9 p.m. to midnight. That's like my very valuable time every
Yeah.
single day. I'm just gonna sit here and watch House of Dragons, and no one's gonna bother me, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's just like you kind of value the little things in life more when your life is chaotic all the time at work.
I agree with you. I agree with you. 9 to midnight is typically my wife and I's time to just unwind and just not have to worry about anything. Because during the rest of the day, it's
Hmm.
nonstop. We got kids at home, so I get where you're coming from. But well, good stuff, man. Dave, again, you always find great people. Um, Trent, we'd love to keep you here all day, but we know you're busy. Well, you're productive. Is there anything we didn't tackle today or cover that we should have?
I think the only thing that I kind of want to send a message out there is that, for buyers and sellers too, when you find and work with an agent, like don't just go off someone's referrals, like also go off, interview your agents. There are agents everywhere. Don't just go with someone that your parents use or a cousin in the family, but
Yeah,
interview everybody because every agent is different.
that's right.
You can get that license very easily, but it's also like you can have a really good agent, but they might not vibe with you, right? Like someone's really good, but you might not like their personality. So it's important to just find someone that you vibe with, and it's something I tell my clients all the time. Like, talk to me now, and then talk to another agent tomorrow too, and see which one you like.
That's so
Hmm.
smart, and I couldn't agree with you more because at the end of the day, we have all seen that. And what's funny is I remember the first time I bought a house, I went with an agent because I worked with the gentleman. His wife was the agent, and I thought, well, she must be great. He's in the industry, and I'll be honest with you. I found the house. There was no discussion. When it came to negotiation, she's like, "Oh, I just think you should take that off." There was no, literally, I didn't feel good about the transaction at all, and I walked away from that going, man. Never do that again, right? So I think you're right. You need to make sure that you're networked with an agent that's professional. It's going to actually provide a service and a value, and that you also click with. You want to work with somebody that you love, right? And I can't see why they wouldn't love working with you, Trin. You're just full of energy and just a great, person. And I see you're passionate, and that's important, right? You want to work with somebody that's passionate with what they do because you're going to get great service. And Trin, that's why you're having such great success. You care about the people you're working with, and you love the industry you're in. So, man, great to have you here
Thank you so
today.
much.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you
yeah.
guys.
Well, when the folks out here want to find you, we know you're in Houston. Do you serve the whole area of Houston and surrounding areas? Like, what part of Houston do you serve?
Yes, Houston and surrounding areas. So anywhere you can think of, Tomball, Fulshear, Katy, Texas,
That's
um,
right.
or League City, Texas City, things like that.
Yeah, we can't
Anywhere
leave anybody out.
within, anywhere within the 30-mile radius or
Yeah,
so of Central Houston, I do serve all of those areas.
that's
And
awesome.
you can also find me on Instagram. We've been talking a lot about social media, so definitely find me on Instagram. I post every week. Very informative contents, but also really fun contents. You get to see homes all the time. You also get to hear me talk all the time on social media. And
What's
it's
the
just going to
at? What's
be,
the at? What's our at to find you?
It's Trinh Nguyen _ HTX Realtor.
There it is. There it is, guys. And if
Yes.
you're listening in, go check the description because we've got everything there. And if you're watching, just look right across the screen because it just ran right across the bottom. What about a phone number or email? Do you want to give anything else out or just the Instagram tag?
So yes, my phone number is 281-818-1108. So you can text and call me anytime. I do respond really quickly. If you wanna, any kind of advice, like that does go into my personal phone number. So I don't have a separate work number. So, but yes, and then just email is trinwin.realestate@gmail.com. Simple.
That's perfect. And guys, she will answer. That's how we got her on the show. So don't worry. If you call, you've got a friend in real estate here, and Trin's going to take amazing care of you. And if you want to get to know her, go over to that Instagram channel. She's got years of content. You get to know exactly who she is. So, hey, great to have you here today. Dave, anything you'd like to say to Trin before we let her get out of here today?
No, if you're looking for real estate in the Houston area, call Trent. Let's use her words. I think she vibes with everybody, so it's going to be a good time. Go buy some real estate from Trent in Houston.
Let's do it. Let's
Thank
go.
you. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you. Well, we appreciate you guys stopping by today. We're your real estate success partners. I'm Devin Dubuc.
I'm David Nguyen.
If you want to check us out, come on over to realestatesuccesspartner.com. Again, that's realestatesuccesspartner.com. Or check us out on YouTube for the full podcast. You can actually find us there at the Dubuc team, and we'll spell that out for you so you don't have to try to spell it yourself. That's at the Dubuc team. Or come to Insta, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all those. Hey, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. We'd love to hear your feedback. And don't forget to call Trin. She's going to take great care of you. Until the next time, we'll see you then.
See you guys.